Alright, guys. So, we're back. Part 2 of Jurassic World Breaking Point. Hope y'all are excited. Because, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Shout out to Silly Goober 545 for, I don't know, baking cookies while listening to Part 1. Everyone, congratulate them on their cookies. I hope they were good. Anyway, focus. After Fritz loses his daughter to two ravenous Allosaurus, his friends help him seek revenge, chasing them across the western hemisphere, though some things don't go to plan. Between a black market turned dinosaur playland to the echoes of BioSyn trying to make a name for themselves once again, this blood-packed story is not for the faint of heart. Part 2, 2027-06-09. The next day, in Rio de Janeiro, bustling honks of cars and Brazilian music greeted Fritz and Jeremy as their 2006 Chevrolet Malibu sped down the streets of Rio de Janeiro. "Where'd you find this clunker anyway?" Fritz asked. "DPW confiscated it when some guy was trying to take a sticky Moloch over the border," Jeremy chuckled. As they pulled up, it appeared to merely be a poor hell of favelas. But when Fritz and Jeremy began to notice large trucks, particular ones with what appeared to be scraped DPW logos. "I don't like this place. It doesn't feel right. We should probably get out," Jeremy warned, his eyes darting between the men covering items with tarps and alleyways. "Shut up," Fritz muttered as he turned to what seemed to be an empty subway station. "All right, Katie, Gabe, and Will should be at the bottom of those steps," Fritz reminded as the two began descending. When they finally passed the creaking steps and met Katie, she smiled. "Good, you're here. All right, Wilson and Gabriel are waiting down there with the Utah Raptor. Just meet them down there and complete the exchange. All right, the guy you're looking for has Sierra Dactyls to trade. Wilson will show you before he leaves," Katie explained, waving the two down. "All right, thanks," Fritz nodded as the two entered the market via an old subway maintenance store. The two scoffed, impressed at the sight of the black market. 3 large containers were stuffed in the back of the area with many fighting rings. One that was ongoing showed a large Allosaurus being jumped by 7 Velociraptor, which it was losing to. They soon found Wilson and Gabriel down the steps and walked down to reach them. "This it?" Fritz asked, pointing to the Utah Raptor, which was straddled in its cage. "Yeah, we're looking for some guy with some Pterodactylus. I assume Katie told you?" Gabriel asked, clearly showing disdain for what he was doing. Soon, a random man with orange sunglasses walked up to them. An awkward air of silence fell upon them before he eventually broke the silence. "Y'all the guys I set up for the trade with the Utah Raptor," he interrupted. "Yeah, you got Pterodactylus?" Fritz asked, which he calmly nodded. "Or a name?" Jeremy added. The man chuckled, pausing. "That's my bad. Daniel Thorne," he informed, shaking Fritz's hand. "You?" "Fritz Morrison," he informed. "What about the others?" Daniel asked, looking behind Fritz. "They're not important. Matter of fact, they were just leaving." "Where's the Pterodactylus?" Fritz asked, cutting to the banter. "Not important?" Daniel asked. "Your friend there is wearing a DPW jacket in a market. This this isn't a sting, is it?" he asked, pointing to Jeremy. Jeremy looked at Daniel, shocked and silent. "It's, um, uh, his," Jeremy deflected, pointing to Fritz. Daniel turned to Fritz, curious. "I got it from when I worked with them, but they were too soft. They didn't see what I see with dinosaurs," Fritz explained, causing Daniel to raise an eyebrow. "Money," Fritz explained. His facade was good, almost fooling Gabriel. "All right, well, sounds like you made the right choice. Anyway, here they are," Daniel explained, lifting a tarp off a cage, showing 8 Pterodactylus in it, screeching and bashing against the cage. Inside, 2 of them were slightly distinct. One had lime green markings on its snout, the other had blue markings. Fritz quickly looked at the fight a few meters away, seeing a velociraptor getting thrown dead against the pillars that stood all around the area. Gabriel stood shocked, saddened by the unnecessary cruelty. He walked over to gain a view of the ring, only to see the Allosaurus getting overwhelmed by the pack. It suddenly nipped and bit one, crashing it into the ground and snapping its spine. A single tear slid down Gabriel's face as he watched the men surrounding the cage cheer and yell. He watched one man pull out a DPW electric cane and shock the tired Allosaurus. Gabriel, Wilson called. Gabriel was still entrenched in the fight, watching the final velociraptor fall limp and get thrown away. Gabriel, we gotta go, Wilson repeated, grabbing Gabriel's shoulder. Gabriel snapped out of it, wiping his tears and walking out with Will and Katie. All right, the Utah raptor? Daniel asked. Jay? Fritz asked, turning around. Jeremy nodded and walked off to grab it. He'll be back in a second, Fritz confirmed, feeling Daniel's confused gaze. So, what brings you to Rio? Daniel asked, attempting to make small talk. Beautiful city, Fritz lied, but Daniel knew. I heard there were 2 Allosaurus here, Fritz lied again. Yeah, some guy just brought them in from Wyoming, Daniel asked. Fritz's eyes widened. Wait, they are here? Yeah. A subadult and an adult. Something like Hectilion and Brutus, someone called them, Daniel suggested. Hectilius and Bruton, Fritz corrected. Yeah, that's it, Daniel confirmed. What's got your interest with them? They killed, kill. Like, they're cool, Fritz explained, trying to seem nonchalant, even bobbing his head. There are rumors of a Spinosaurus somewhere in Cascadia. No, that's the real star, Daniel smirked. Don't you mean Tyrannosaurus is the star? Jeremy asked, coming back with the cage. The Utah raptor snapped and snarled, biting at the metal containing it. Tyrannosaurus is overrated, man. I mean, how long until you get to the largest terrestrial carnivore to ever walk the earth? Daniel asked, leaning down to observe the Utah raptor. With places like this, not long, I'd have to guess, Fritz suggested under his breath, overhearing Fritz and Daniel with his voice laced with disgust. Fritz shot him a dirty look, knowing Gabriel's comments could make Daniel get wise. I'm gotta take a walk around. Check out this place. Gabriel fake smiled to Katie. None the wiser, Katie shrugged. Wilson nodded. I'll go with him. I need some fresh air anyway. Will excused. Katie nodded, and he and Gabriel walked away. Hey, you okay? He asked. No, I'm not. Seeing this place, it makes me sick, Gabriel explained. The two headed toward the ring, watching the Allosaurus get shocked out of the ring and back into the crate. Gabriel looked into the ring, seeing the velociraptor carcasses. There were about 5. 4 were dark blue, with light horizontal stripes, red hands and snout, and bird-like eyes and quills atop the head. The 5th was white, with black spots and blotches. No quills, though. Still had the nasal ridges and bird eyes. It was weird. DPW record showed the velociraptors were orange and black, or brown. I don't understand. Are these like Dakota Raptor or something? Wilson asked. No, Velociraptor. I remember a report from this guy who was in the original park in 1993. The report was in 2001, I think. They were talking about these raptors. Smarter, more cunning, more agile, Gabriel explained, remembering the records. Dr. Alan Grant's 2001 reports? Wilson asked. I think so, but they were abandoned and left on these Asorna. Guess humanity couldn't help but pillage that too, Gabriel sighed. So, which one was that? Well, Wilson asked, pointing to the Allosaurus. Bruton, I think, Gabriel suggested. So, if Bruton's here, where's Hectilius? Will asked. As Wilson looked around, his gaze fell on a burly man in his late 60s staring right back at him. He brushed it off. Soon, the man was confronted by another, much younger man. They're here, George, the younger one informed. So, yeah, that's part 2. Like and subscribe if you want to see part 3. Yeah. Anyway, bye for now. And I'll definitely be recording the second episode of the Leaf Green playthrough. So, definitely be on the lookout for that. Bye-bye.